Hi, and welcome back to another video for this series, for part one of this series. Last video we went over, it looks like configuring advanced authentication and authorization, which was definitely fun. We're going to have even more fun in this video where we'll be going over encryption and hashing. I've done another video on this before, I believe, if I remember correctly. So this will just be a continuation of that. And I also will be doing another video after this around encryption and hashing as well. But nonetheless, let's get straight into it. Now, I'm not going to explain, I believe I did already in another video as far as what cryptography is, which is the process of accepting to maintain. You're having your information maintain integrity, right, and confidentiality. But nonetheless, what we're going to do first is understanding cryptographic basics, right? So first, I'm going to download the CryptoDemo install. So let's see. Click here. And I'm not going to bore you guys with downloading all of this stuff. So I'll just put us on the other side for when everything is fully downloaded. All right, so now that we have everything downloaded and ready to go, we're going to do some CryptoDemo encryption. So now I'll apply the encryption algorithm, the 3DES, right, to the output and begin to recognize what such an output generates, right, in terms of values. So in fact, this actually helps experienced folks. I'm not experienced, but it would help more experienced folks than myself recognize different algorithms, right, just on plain sight. But from the, let's see, let's move forward with that. Now in the key box, let's do like we've been doing for all of our labs. Do this here. Welcome. Welcome to the place where you can't spell. All right. All right, perfect. So let's select here and we can see all the encrypted data, right? And we can just actually keep encrypting. It's going to continue to change. Now I want to point out that you can see almost the first line and a half does it, but for the most part, it's going to keep changing, right? No matter how many times we click encrypt, right? So and now I'm just going to do a crypto demo decryption as well. So now we've encrypted with the plain text of the crypto demo. Now I'm going to decrypt the content and make sure I have the same content originally intended. So I'm only going to delete the data file for the text. And then let's decrypt. Perfect. Yep. So it remains it has the same integrity, right? When I decrypt it, because this is already stored here. So when I decrypt it, even if I delete it, right, it's still the information still remains the same as far as the integrity of the data, right? So we're good to go there. So even if I delete a single character, right? That's not a single, but you get the point, right? So no matter what, even if we delete something here, right? We decrypt. Now that'll throw it off as far as the data, but the hash rate if we encrypt, then decrypt. Wait a minute. Okay. But nonetheless, we do have an error that the program was then able to decode the encrypted data due to the error of the unexpected end of data. Right. So let's take a look at some key values. So in general, mixing up as many variables as possible with long string lengths, right, produces a strong key usually to encrypt or hashing it. So we're going to use options presented with the random key or the time key, right? So let's actually delete this here, right? And this as well, right? And then actually, so perfect. So let me, um, kind of a weird thing to say, but you guys get the point, right? All right, perfect. So now that we have that in our data box, I'm just going to click random key here. All right. So it's random. So our key is not going, they're not going to match the images, neither will our time values, right? So, and also, I also want to point out that we've only done encryption algorithms in the triple DES encryption. We can actually change it and it'll actually become something different as far as the type of characters that we'll use, right? So, and nonetheless, no matter how many times you do it, it'll be completely random, right? And we can actually encrypt this as well. Same concept, right? Perfect. So let me actually, let's see. Now we've done enough with the time key, so we're actually good to go there. So now we're just going to use some hashing, right? So hashing is a value, right, to map the data of any size or provide a method, right, for verifying the integrity and also the authenticity of the authors of the files, so the data, right? So now that we do that, MD5, we're good there. So now let's see. I think that was his name. That's his name in real life. I forget. That's been a while, but nonetheless, get a hash. You can see the hash here. Now the difference between the encryption and the hashing is, no matter how many times I click it, it's going to be remain the same as long as I stay under the same algorithm. In this case, MD5. But if I change it, we're going to get a different, right? But it's going to remain constant, right, under that particular algorithm, no matter how many times I try to generate a new value, right? So now that we've gotten that taken care of, we can actually move on to our next exercise. It's going to be comparing hashing algorithms. So now we have to look at a different variety of algorithms in a direct comparison using the HashCalc or which is a calculator that computes messages or that digests text forms and things of that nature. So we're actually going to install HashCalc. So let's get it up and running here in just a moment. All right, so we got HashCalc up and running, and I want to point out something that it's honestly it's pretty somewhat simple, right? So I'm going to show you, right? So I just changed the data format to text string, but I'll show you the other way as well with the hex and the file. But right now, let's start with text. Let's keep it a little simpler, right? So let's type yeah, all right, perfect. So I'm actually going to make sure, let's see, everything is set here. Perfect. And then calculate. Then look at all the hashes we get, right? That like, and the good thing is it's gonna stay consistent, right? So we could change the data in the field here to anything that we like. We can see how different values of the hashes would compare to each other, right? So, and we'll notice that essentially the differing algorithms, they produce hashes of a set list which can be used to identify them. So now I'm actually, as you can, I'm not sure if it was caught, but I didn't check off the HMAC. I did that on purpose. So now with the HMAC value, we're going to see a specified number of hash types that'll be permitted. So this is because the keyed hash message authentication code is specifically uses hash functions. So with the with the HMAC rather, I can add it to key format, right, to allow text or hex strings. However, I'll use the text string, at least for right now, right? So let's see. Yeah, it was such a good show. All right, look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So, and I also want to point out that I just want to note that these hashes were made with a specific key. that was entered, and this would usually be a secret key. So now let's actually take a look at the hex version, right? Right. Now let's calculate. Okay, it must be even. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm sorry. The X ray includes invalid symbol. Okay, so here. There it is. I guess you need certain characters. So, but I am able to load we're able to load a file to HashCalc to be evaluated as well. So I can actually, let's see, do file here, right? And then, okay, I'm gonna actually do that. Should have been another shortcut. But nonetheless, we can actually do a few things here. Actually, let me close this out. Let me go here. This would be all right, perfect. So now we notice that the path, as far as the putty, is entered into the data box that we have here, right? Due to the data format that I selected. So actually, I'm going to let's see, do that there. So we can actually calculate here, and voila, there you go. You have your hashes, right? So I'm actually going to keep that open, but we can compare these hashes for the file, right? As far as the ones that are online for putty, but we can actually what we're actually going to do, since I mentioned that, we're actually let's compare the hash values. So we're going to compare different hash values to get a better understanding of how hashes visually compare to each other in that state. So we're going to grab some website hash values. So let's see. I think I'm going to go online and see what we can get there. Not sure the web favors the dinosaur. Go here. All right, perfect. So let's take a look at some checks here. It's not going. Okay. All right, MD5. Let's do that. Oh, perfect. long list of hash sums, right? So the MD5 sum for the patty should be here. Oh, I'm sorry, putty. Uh, actually do that here. So let's do perfect, perfect. Um, there it is. So this is the hash for the putty, right? So I'm actually going to see, copy. So we can actually repeat the steps, right? As far as different checksums. So we can do this one as well. All right. And then look at that. Look at that. As far as a comparison, right? So they actually, well, we actually can also access an online comparison tool as well. So we can actually do that at onlinemd5.com. Let's see. Uh, okay. All right. I was just, it looks different than the last time I was here. Unless that was a different site that I'm misremembering. But we could use the MD5 value, right, produced for the putty. We could actually copy that, well, which I did actually copy. I didn't enter it in MD5. Um, but all right, looks like that doesn't like I'm not sure if there's another site you can actually take a look at. Let's see. Um, bring this back to Debbie. Let's see. Let's see if I can make that better. I don't know if it's just me, but I hate the idea of clicking the first option that populates. But since I'm in the lab, let's do it. Let's see here. You know what? I'll just move along. But you can definitely compare the hashes using file checksum, and then it'll compare. I believe I did it in another video. But I've actually done that. You know what? Let me try another browser. Save. Hmm. Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, it's not what I'm looking for. Sorry about that, but nonetheless, this brings us to the end of the video. As far as encryption and hashing, for the most part, we did do what we set out to do, which was going over cryptographic basics, uh, comparing hashing algorithms, at least manually on our own, but then also comparing hash values as well. So this was fun. This was definitely fun. I can't wait to have more fun in my next video where we'll be performing security assessment using various tools. So again, this is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, I'll catch you on the next one. Stay curious, stay secure.